it's Kay from Kay's Creative Home. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to share with you how I make this cute wreath for Easter. Let's get started. Welcome back everyone. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today we're making this cute wreath for Easter. It starts with all Dollar Tree products, starting with this 8-inch wreath form. And then I have some hot pink and light pink mesh. Theirs comes in 5-yard rolls and it's 6 inches wide. And then I have these tinsel stems. I'm cutting them. Don't use scissors like I did because they'll ruin your scissors. I'm cutting them in 6-inch pieces and 4-inch pieces. And I'll show you why I chose 2 different sizes later. I also have 4 rolls of ribbon. 3 are from their spring collection or Easter collection, and the one with the red top is actually from the Valentine's collection. And I'll be using these to add a little decor to my wreath. So I'm going to start with this hot pink mesh, and what I'm going to do is cut it into 15-inch strips. And how I decided the length was going by how they make the woodland ruffle for your 10-inch mesh. If it's 10 inches, they cut it in 30-inch strips. So I decided, since I was thinking it was 5 inches, so I said I'll cut it in 15-inch strips. And then later realized it was 6 inches wide. So probably should have did 18 inches just to kind of make it comparable. But the 15 inches worked out fine. Now this Dollar Tree mesh, if you use a sharp edge, it helps with it not fraying, but it does fray. So you have to be careful with how you even put it together. So as I'm piling it up there, I'm making sure that the raw edges is not turned down so it won't catch onto the mesh that I'm putting that's underneath. So each layer I put on there, I make sure I'm putting the bottom down and the raw edges are kind of facing up. The hardest part is working with the Dollar Tree mesh is that it will fray. So you just have to be careful with that. And I create my own little technique for working with it so that I can hide the raw edges so it doesn't fray. And I'll share that with you in a little bit. So I got to move some of this to the side so I can make a little bit of room, and then I'll show you how I make my ruffles using the Dollar Tree mesh. So using a piece of paper, I'm going to cut this in half so we have a long strip like we would the mesh. And I'm going to show you that what I do first with the ends is bring them to a point, like make a little triangle there, the way we used to make our little sailboats. Then tuck that tip in to meet the line and tuck it in again. And I'm sorry the lighting is bad here, but I'll do it up closer so you can see. Making that triangle first, folding that in and folding it in again. And that way it kind of pulls in all of the raw edges so that they won't be hanging out and getting frayed and getting pulled on and all that stuff. So you can see I'm doing the same method with the mesh. I'm going to clip it on one end, and then I'm going to do the same on the other end. I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to scrunch it right down the middle. And also you can see with the Dollar Tree mesh, as you're scrunching it, sometimes it just kind of has a mind of its own. It swerves to the left, it swerves to the right. And what I did, I just followed the swerve. So I kind of got a line in view as I started to scrunch it. And if that line went to the right, I went to the right. If it went to the left, I went to the left. I tried to keep it straight, but I found that as long as I followed that line, in the end, my mesh would be balanced. It would have the ruffles on both sides. So I'm just going to demonstrate again, grabbing it, folding it in on both ends, flipping it over, and then just scrunching down the middle. And I'm going to do this over and over again to get all of my mesh ready. And then I just hold it with a clothespin, and make sure those clothespins don't have jagged edges too, or they'll snare at your mesh. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make a whole bunch of ruffles using the hot pink and the light pink, and then I'll be right back. So the next thing I did was to cut my ribbon into 10-inch strips, and I used this plaid ribbon and the ribbon with the Easter eggs, and then I also used sheer ribbon, and I used two color shears. One is a deeper pink and one is a lighter pink. So with the plaid I used the lighter pink, and with the Easter eggs I used the darker pink. And I'm going to just cut some 10-inch strips and then do some dovetails on the end, and then we're going to be ready to start putting our little wreath together. So if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with others. They may be looking for a wreath idea for Easter, and these wreaths are perfect because they're smaller. They're perfect for indoor wreaths, like for an apartment door or nursing home door. They're really cute and sweet, and the final wreath is smaller in size. So what I'm going to do next is, you can see this ring has 3 sections, and I'm going to put 9 of these ruffles in each section. And I started to, line up all of my little twisties, but decided they would be snagging the ruffles, so I'm going to do them one at a time. So I just put it on around the ring, add the ruffle, twist it, and then tuck in the end of the twist ties so that that wire stem won't be sitting up. And I just went with hot pink, light pink, hot pink, light pink, back and forth. And what I did was every 3 ruffles, I would add some ribbon. So get the second one on here, and you can see I'm putting them sideways so that when they come together, the ruffles are helping each other to stand up. Now the finished edge on the Dollar Tree mesh can still fray a bit. So as I'm going along, you'll see me clipping those frays, because once I put that mesh together, I don't want to have to pull it apart to clip frays or do anything else, because the less you touch it, the less fraying you have. So I'm at the point now, I'm adding that third one, which is hot pink. And so now I'm going to add my ribbon to that one. And I chose the Easter egg ribbon. I'm going to twist it in. And then for this one also, I used the longer white stems so that I can twist in the ruffle and then still have a long enough end to twist in that ribbon. So that's why I cut some of those tinsel stems at 6 inches instead of 4. So I've got hot pink, hot pink, and now I'm going to go to light pink, a hot pink, and then the next one will be a light pink one that will get a ribbon. So every 3 I put a ribbon, and it will be the alternate ribbon, which is the plaid one with the sheer. And the reason I did 3 ruffles before I did another ribbon is that you can see by this mesh being thin, once you kind of push it together, if I didn't space out the ribbons, they would just be right on top of each other. And having a ribbon on every 3rd mesh ruffle just seemed to be the right spacing. You'll kind of see that in the end. So I'm going to go on around here. Next, add this hot light pink one. And then you're going to see that I add the plaid ribbon. And you can kind of decide how many ruffles you want to add in each section. For me, I ended up adding 9 in each section. That seemed to be enough to get fullness without being able to kind of see through the deco mesh and see that frame in the background. So the choice is yours. You can decide how thick you want those ruffles to be. I found 9 to be enough. So each of those sections going to get 9 ruffles, and so out of that 9 you'll have like 3 of the ribbons. And you can see right here, even with 6, it's getting kind of tight already, and you really have to push and keep the mesh from getting snagged into each other. But it works out. You just take your time and keep working your way around. Now this wreath is made with all Dollar Tree products, and they've got some really cute stuff for Easter this year if you like to try to make it. And if not, I will have a few available for sale on my Etsy shop. And that shop has the same name as this channel, Kay's Creative Home. So I hope you'll stop by and check out my shop and see what else I have there. I recently opened the shop, but I'm adding stuff to it as often as I can. So I've got that first section complete. You can see how full it is, and I've got 9 of those ruffles added in and 3 of the ribbons. And I have not folded out the ribbons yet because I'm afraid I'm going to mash them as I continue to work around. So I will fluff them out at the end. So are you a family member yet here at Kay's Creative Home? If not, why don't you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll be notified as I release new videos. I hope you'll consider becoming a member of the family. We would love to have you here, and I love to share with you how to make different wreaths for your home. So here I am nearing the end of the wreath. I think I just have 3 more pieces of ruffle to add, and you can see it gets really tight in here. You just got to take your time, add 1 piece at a time. See how they get snagged when they get next to each other. Just gently pull them apart. So just kind of, push the mesh back, get your piece in there, and then, when you fluff it out, just do it gently so that you don't get caught into the other pieces. If they do, gently separate them. If you try to just snatch them apart, you will end up snagging it and having a phrase strung out all over the place. So like I said, I just do it gently. I snip and cut the phrase as I go along. And that was really beneficial because at the end, I had very little fraying that I had to go back and clip. And that prevents you from moving the mesh around even more. All right, let me finish this up and then we'll fluff our ribbons. So now that we've got all the mesh on, this is how the back looks. All of our tinsel stems are twisted on. You have a smooth back because all of the end wires are tucked in on the top. So you're able to hang this on the door without worrying about it scratching your paint. So now I'm just going to fluff the ribbons by separating the sheer from the solid ribbon and just kind of cross them a little bit. I've kind of got the shears going at an angle. On top it's on the left, on the bottom it's on the right, and the same with the Easter eggs. You can see that one on the top it's on the right, and on the bottom it's on the left. So that's how I just alternate them going all the way around. And here's where you can see how they come really close to meeting the other one on the wreath, even though they're 3 ruffles apart. As I start to fluff them out, some of them each actually overlap or on the tips. So that's like this example. So that is why I made sure they were at least 3 pieces apart. If you put them closer, if that's how you like yours is more ribbon, that's fine. And what you'll see is just more ribbon and less ruffle. It'll be a really full wreath of ribbons that will be visible, and the ruffles will just be peeking out here and there. I kind of like the balance of ruffle and ribbon showing. So I'm going to work my way around here and get these fluffed up, and then we'll see what comes next. So I fluffed out all my ribbon, cutting off another little fray, and pointing out here where I've got a little bit of gap with no ribbon, and that's where I'm going to put my bow. So let's make a bow. So I'm going to start with the Easter egg ribbon. I'm using 10 inches to make my loops, and I think I did 9 or 10 inches as the tail, but of course again that's up to you how long you want it to be. And I'm making a 3-loop bow, and I'm using my handy dandy clothespins to hold it for me until I get this tail cut, and then I'm gonna use the plaid ribbon to make a contrasting bow, and I'm going to put those together. But got the first part done, and now I'm going to open up a new container of plaid. This wreath only took one, less than one roll of each of the ribbons. And the reason I'm opening a new one is that I've made a couple of these wreaths. I showed you one when I first started. So that's why I'm opening a new one. If you make the wreath, you would only need, you would need less than one roll to for ribbon. So I'm also making this a 3-loop bow and cutting the tail. And then I'm going to put these two together. If you don't know how to make a bow, I have an entire series on how to make a bow. I show you all different kinds of bows using all different types of materials. And you'll find a link to that in the description box below. And you'll also find links to other wreaths that I've made. So you can check those out at your leisure. So I'm taking the clothespin off of both of my bows and I'm twisting them together using a full length pipe cleaner or tinsel stem. And now I'm going to just fluff my bow out. What I did was, I told you these are 3-loop bows, so I put 2 plaid loops to one side and 2 of the egg ribbon loops to the other side, so that in the end it would be balanced. I have 3 loops on kind of both sides. And I also have like a plaid, then an egg, a plaid, an egg, a plaid, an egg. So I get alternate loops in my final bow. So I'm just fluffing it out, make sure the tails are facing in the right direction. And I'm going to have to cut some dovetails in the end of the ribbon, into the tails. I haven't done that yet. But first thing I'm going to do is place it on the wreath. I'm going to take those tinsel stems and feed them right through the mesh, and they're just going to get twisted onto the wire frame in the back. And then I'm going to take the rest of that tinsel stem and actually make a loop on the back for hanging the wreath. Because this has a wire frame, you can use the loop to hang it up, or you can just, if you have a hook, you can just hang the wreath up with the wire frame against your hook. That'll hold it in place too. So again, we're going to do a little more fluffing, and then I'm going to cut some dovetails in the end of this ribbon, and we're going to be almost done. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed making this wreath. This is the first time I've made the smaller ones that can be used indoors and in the nursing homes or assisted living, places like that. If you have your own individual room, you can hang these on the doors, and it's just like the perfect size. The final measurement was 14 inches in diameter, and thought they were just really cute and fluffy and bright and pretty, and just something to bring a smile to your face. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you take the time to try to make one of your own using Dollar Tree products. It's not too expensive, and it was just fun. So I am going to share some pictures with you at the end of what it looks like hanging on the door. But before I go, as always, I want to thank you for spending this time with me, and I'll be talking with you again real soon.